All right, we are going live. This is our Halloween edition. We're talking about trick training. I'm very excited to do some trick training with you guys for the last couple weeks of this month, switching up from the fitness stuff, which we're still doing. There's a little fitness classroom if you are interested in fitness. I do have a fitness program open right now for you to join. If you are interested, send me a message. But in the meantime, we're going to do some trick training this month. It's been a hot minute since I've done some trick training, and it's trick or treat season, so why not? So let's bring some trick training back to the table. And I actually have a dog who I haven't taught a lot of tricks to, surprisingly. I was doing a lot of trick training when I had Tabby as a puppy, so that was about 6 years ago. So he did a lot of my videos and helped me teach a lot of classes and seminars and workshops. And so he has a ton of tricks that I just never taught alchemy. And so this is a good chance to kind of bring trick training back with a green dog who doesn't really have the trick training foundations that my other dogs have. So he's going to be fresh meat for these projects, and it's going to be great because he's going to show you a lot of common mistakes that dogs make trick training, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it, and it will be really interesting to see how he handles it because he is a different kind of dog. He does train differently than Tabby, and then so I am excited to adapt how I trained tricks with Tabby to train tricks with alchemy. So I did want to go ahead and share some of my logic for trick training, especially complex tricks. So I have shared this before when I was trick training, that there's a way to make sure, like systematic way to make sure you're successful in trick training. And I have a little diagram to help with that. So let me try sharing my screen. Yeah, cool. All right, so trick training, you could just start tackling a trick. That's perfectly fine. The simpler the trick, that's easier to do. But when we have complex tricks like I've proposed for this demo session, it requires, for me at least, a little bit more planning. I like to be a little strategic about it, help my dog be successful, help me be less frustrated, and kind of come at it with a plan. So, this is kind of how I plan out a complex trick training process. So, there's the main trick. I break the main trick down into skills. No matter how many skills it has, there is always some kind of pre-skill or skills that you could kind of break out of it and teach those skills, maybe in separate sessions or first, or maybe they already have them. But I like to look at the main trick, figure out what the sub skills are that the trick requires, and then figure out what those skills maybe have as sub skills, and going all the way back to like some kind of foundation skill the dog may or may not have before we can begin. This helps, again, reduce frustration in training. It helps speed up training because you can start at the bottom and work your way up. So if I flow out a trick like this and my dog doesn't have one of the foundation skills or one of the small skills, I can do those first before trying to tackle anything bigger. So this is kind of how you want to design your splits as well, but you might even split it smaller than you originally planned once you start training. But I at least like to start thinking about my splits, thinking about the skills that are required, thinking about how many pieces it might take to put the whole thing together. So again, this is a very generic kind of flow chart, but some things don't have this many skills. Some things do. And so it just really depends. But I like to start with this kind of mind map as my basis. And it can be a quick little brainstorming session when I look at the skill and just brainstorm some of the skills that are needed, how I want to break it down. And it also really helps me think about how I want to organize my sessions, what I'm going to look for in each session, what I'm going to define as success along the way. And again, all of this helps reduce frustration. It helps to speed up your training. And not just frustration for the dog, but frustration for you to not feeling like you're making progress, because this allows you to really split things down even finer. So if you identify the small skill and then maybe you didn't split that small skill enough, you can start splitting that after a session and realize like, okay, I need to split this even further. But it gives you something to go back to keep planning and organizing your training sessions to help make you guys successful at these complex tricks that require multiple pieces. Again, you don't need to do this for things that are maybe single skills or maybe even just two skills put together, but The tricks that I was proposing for this month were all tricks that had 2, 3, maybe even 4 skills required to even start putting them together. And so that's why I like to teach those ones or demo those ones, because I like to then explain this process to you guys as well. So now to reveal the trick I'm going to be doing. So I appreciate everyone who voted. It was super fun to see your guys' comments and votes. And it was very close for 2 of them. It was very close between Walk with a Limp, which is a fun trick. Tabby's really good at this one. I actually enjoy teaching it. And then Roll Yourself in a Blanket. 2 really fun tricks. 2 tricks that do both have some skills that you have to break down first. So I'll show you which one won the contest and then how I'm going to break it down. So the winner is Roll Yourself in a Blanket by only a few votes. So super exciting to work on this with Alchemy. He doesn't have this trick. I don't think he really has the sub skills either. I don't remember teaching him rollover. If I did, it was when he was a puppy. And I don't think it's on cue. So he might have done it like with a lure, just playing around, but I definitely don't have it as a pretty solid verbal. So like I said, this is the main trick, Roll Yourself in a Blanket. I've identified the 2 sub behaviors that I need, which is there's a rollover piece, obviously, and then he's got to hold the blanket while he's rolling over, which is part of the trick. So looking at the rollover, he has to be able to lay on his side to kind of get into the rollover position. To lay on their side, they have to be able to lay on a hip, especially dogs who really like to stay in that Sphinx down, which my dogs do because they have a lot of fitness background. So they don't really lay on their hip, especially when food is present and when we're in a training setting. So lay on the hip is something I have to teach separately. And obviously that all stems from having it down. So luckily he has that skill. So we can progress from the down. He's going to learn to lay on his hip. If he doesn't already, kind of get more comfortable laying on his side. Then we'll teach rollover on a cue. So then the other element of this is the holding the blanket. So again, because I've taught this before, I kind of know the splits I need to make, and I might have to split this a little bit more for him. But this is one key one that I feel like some people skip, and some people can get lucky skipping it. But this is one I'll break down, holding something while moving. Because we teach our dogs to hold and duration holds and like sits and downs, or maybe even a sit pretty, but we don't teach them to move while holding. So we're going to hold something while moving. We're also going to grab the blanket from the ground because I want to cue the trick, and I want him to grab the corner of the blanket himself. I don't want to hand it to him. Ideally, at the finish of the trick, it would be him grabbing it off the ground and then rolling himself in it. So he's got to learn to grab something that's on the ground, that's flat on the ground, which requires a pickup cue, which he may or may not have on cue. I don't know. We're going to have to play with that. And then hold something while moving requires a duration hold. So something that they can hold for a period of time. And then in order to get the hold, they have to pick something up. So those are kind of related. So he's got to pick the thing up on himself and then hold it. And then he's also got to be comfortable holding something soft. So his holds, I'm pretty sure, are fine with things soft, but maybe not soft and flat. Like he holds his ribbons, he'll hold toys, he'll hold things that I put at him. He holds like harder objects for sure. Like I've given him, like sticks and things and just random things to hold. But I don't know if he's held like something soft, like a blanket. And so it is a little different depending on how you taught hold. And so we're going to hold something soft, not chew on it, not kind of, just kind of hold it still, hold it for duration, pick it up and hold it for duration, hold it while moving, and then, grabbing the blanket from the ground, kind of all go together for hold the blanket, then roll over, and then we put it all together. So these might not all be separate training sessions. Like some of these we might bang out in one session and get a couple of these done all at once. It depends on how quick he learns things. I do keep my sessions pretty short, especially for him. So it will be very interesting to see how many of these we can kind of lump together and how quickly he progresses. The other part with trick training is I like to put things on cues. So they might take a little bit longer so it's a cued behavior, so it's not just lured. So like the rollover, I could lure, but in the context of this trick, the lure would make it difficult for him to hold because he's going to be thinking about getting the food. So he'll want to not hold on to the blanket, or he might drop it early mid-roll because he's thinking about the food. So there are little nuances to like the rollover. Like I would like to get it cued, not lured. And same thing with the blanket. It's really hard to lure a hold anyways, but that's kind of the gist of how we're going to kind of break this down and train it. So yeah, I'm really excited to do this in the next couple weeks. 10 days is left for Halloween. The goal is to get this done by Halloween for you guys. It might be done sooner. It might take longer, but that is at least the rough goal. Just depends how many sessions I can actually get in with him and how quickly he progresses, and how much we have to backtrack or break things down for him, and follow this plan or add to this plan as we go. But I'm really excited, and hopefully you guys are too. We're going to try to do the lives on YouTube. Facebook Lives used to be great, but they only retain for 30 days. And I'd like to be able to retain this information longer than 30 days for you guys, so you can reference it at any time. Maybe now is not a good time for you to be trick training. Maybe you have a puppy and this is a little bit above that puppy's pay grade and you want to come back to it in a few months. So I want these videos to be here for you. So they will be on YouTube. I will share them on the Facebook page. I will notify you guys on the Facebook page the best I can. I'm not going to schedule all my training sessions. I might just hop on YouTube when I feel like training and just make it live. So I'll schedule some of them. I think I can. Some might just be a little bit more impromptu. But if you follow my page on YouTube, you should get notified when I go live. And again, I'll at least try to put some comment on Facebook saying, hey, I'm going live in 15 minutes. So again, if you follow my page on Facebook, you should get those notifications, or at least see them if you're on Facebook at that time. So hopefully you enjoy. Otherwise, all of the things will be recorded and you can watch them back afterwards and kind of follow along with our trick training journey. And hopefully you're inspired to do one on your own. So I'm excited to get started. I think our first session will probably be tomorrow, and we'll have a little fun. Probably maybe even do 2 sessions tomorrow, one with rollover and one with the hold. We'll see how our time plays out. I know it's supposed to rain this weekend, so we might get banging out some extra sessions this weekend. And if he crushes this, then I am more than happy to do the other trick as well. But I don't want to commit to it because I just don't know how fast he's going to learn this one trick. So we'll see. And maybe we'll be lucky and we'll have some extra time before Halloween to train a second trick. So again, thanks for joining, and we will see you here on YouTube Live and on the Facebook page as you're catching up with the recaps. All right. See ya.